makes sense for that movie because it's her own standalone film finally. So
Right.
that's and that was I enjoyed that movie, and I don't know how everyone else what they rated online, but I thought it was pretty good. So
Um. So here's my thought on the whole Batman thing. I do want another Batman movie,
hmm
but I want another Batman movie
hmm
to lead into a different Justice League movie.
yes,
I pretty much want them to do the um a movie about kind of like using the Batman like in the animated series,
hmm
and then move into a movie with the same characters that were in the Justice League animated series.
hmm
Um, and maybe give a Superman standalone movie
hmm
another shot. I mean, I know we've had what, two or three of them.
yeah, I know that I haven't really kept up to date with them. I know I've seen them,
I know the newest one has been a big flop.
yeah, I
And I'm not
unfortunately,
saying an origin story, like because there've been enough of those. It's kind of like
yeah,
Superman's kind of like the Hulk
yeah,
of DC.
yeah,
You can only do so many origin stories. They flop so many times.
yeah,
Why don't you do just a normal story?
hmm
Because you've got Smallville.
right,
You could build off that. I mean, cast that guy again. He was really
yeah,
cool.
oh yeah.
Um,
And I've heard that was one of the big problems with I don't want to say it's DC as a whole, but like the role of Superman. They always joke and say that one's cursed because I know the when Christopher Reeve played it. And it's not that it's a bad role, but a lot of times people just don't like who they pick for it, and they say they do a
right,
terrible job. I mean the gentleman that's been doing like the Superman Returns, and that was the same actor in the Batman vs Superman.
right,
I thought he to me it looked like Superman.
right.
And it's like I guess with him
Well, that
it's
wasn't the problem. There were people who had problems with his costume because his wang was
yeah.
had a big bulge in the front, and
And I mean, it's like okay,
it's kind of like the nipply George Clooney Batman.
yeah. Don't even speak to me about that. That was an absolute abortion of a Batman
That
movie,
was
in my
funny.
opinion. I
I like it because of how bad it is.
it almost hails back to the campy Adam West
Yes.
rendition of Batman, which I think was kind of the idea. But they cast Jim Carrey as the Riddler in that movie, and that made sense.
That was good. I did like that.
Schwarzenegger was Mr. Freeze.
That was good too. I
And
like that.
I cannot remember the gentleman's name, but the guy who was in Men in Black 2, he was Two Face in that movie.
Oh,
Not Eddie Murphy, but
no, I knew who you're
his
talking about. I
partner.
just can't think of his
cannot
name.
remember that actor's name for the life of me, and I thought the villains were you know. And people make fun of Arnold's acting ability, but come on, he's Mr. Freeze. He doesn't really. He just have to, make all of his ice puns all he wants and stuff like that. And Batman in the comics has even been a very kind of pun-filled character, whether it's him and Robin or the Joker doing it. There's always some crappy little pun that you almost want to go see yourself out after saying.
Right.
But I'd be interested if they were to do a single standalone Batman movie. If they did one with actually like Batman's family, if you will, where Batgirl, Robin, maybe Nightwing or something like that. Kind of add in some of the other characters into that. Into the frame, kind of have several maybe fighting several villains or something like that. I
Right.
think that'd be very interesting personally, but I think a
Well,
lot.
like I said, I want to see an animated, like a live action Justice League movie
Mhm.
with the same characters that were in the animated Justice League.
Yes.
I'm talking like
Mhm.
you've got John, the Martian, um,
Martian Manhunter.
Martian Manhunter.
Yep.
You've got Hawk Girl,
Mhm.
who's a very interesting character. You've got Wonder Woman. You've got Batman. You've got Superman. You've got the Flash. You got the
Mhm.
Green Lantern. But I'm not talking about just the characters either. I'm talking about the personalities that they had.
Yeah.
Like the Green Lantern, and I'm trying to remember what his name was. Um what are the different? There's Hal Jordan.
Oh gosh. And I was gonna say that too. DC can get away with bringing new actors for different roles and stuff like that because I know especially with the Justice League and the Batman comics they always talk about alternative dimensions and stuff like that and how that's actually a thing in their universe. So technically you can get away with anything as far as DC movies go. So and still be able to argue that you maintain continuity and stuff like that.
Right. Um, yeah, I'm trying to find a list of who all was in that. Because that's my like that's what I think of when I think of the Justice League is like the the Justice League, the one from 2001 to 2004,
Mm-hmm.
and let's see, full cast. Yes, I am looking it up on IMDb because I do not remember.
Yeah, it's fine.
You
I'm not much help over here either. So
you have the Green Lantern. It doesn't say what his name was. Um, I'm trying to remember his name. It was I want to say it was John, but it wasn't.
hmm.
It was what was his name?
I'm gonna see if I can check into this as well too.
Because I'm just kicking like I'm on IMDb and it just says the Green Lantern,
I keep seeing Hal Jordan.
not the white one, the black one. But you have like you've got the Green Lantern, who's like an old military guy. He's very strict. He's
Yeah.
very kind of by the book. You know, he thinks a certain way. And then you've got the Flash, who thinks a completely different way. He's like a college student.
John Stewart.
John Stewart.
That
Thank
was
you.
it.
I thought his name was John.
I didn't remember.
John
I
Stewart.
found that on the internet.
No. So John, like John Stewart was a military. He was an ex-military guy. He, was very strict, very, clean shaven, and always looked very nice. But he's also very strict.
Right.
Things have to be done by the book.
Mhm.
And you've got the Flash, who in the animated series, you've got the Flash that, like I said, he's a college student with ADHD.
Yeah.
Like, what about here? What about here?
Mhm.
And they really clash, but in clashing, they become best friends.
Right.
And then you got Hawk Girl, who was very strong, but she was kind of like Wonder Woman. Her and Wonder Woman didn't get along in the beginning, and then they kind of started to become friends
Mhm.
because they're both very strong, independent women.
Right.
And that's what I liked about that. So you got two very strong independent women, and it's actually funny because there was a guy named Solomon Grundy in that series, and I just found out he was voiced by Mark Hamill.
Yep.
So,
Born on Monday, christened on Tuesday,
which is funny.
married on Wednesday. These. Sorry, that's a part of the Grundy nursery rhyme.
But anyway, so you've got, and then you've got Superman, who's trying to be like the leader of this group. You've got Batman, who's kind of like, I'm just a part-time member. He pops up when he needs to.
Yeah.
But the cool part about this was, they didn't just have the Justice League. Like a lot of people think of the Justice League, they think of all of them together and they all fight. No,
Right.
Sometimes it was the Flash, Green Lantern, and Hawkgirl.
Mhm.
It could have been Batman and Wonder Woman and Superman,
Right.
or it could have been Superman and Hawkgirl, or they've had two or three or four, and then you have different peoples coming in, or different people coming into the series.
Yeah, well, because then you'll have like Green Arrow and Aquaman will make appearances and stuff like
Well,
that. They're
and
members, of course, in the group, but they're not. It does not like they go there and that's where they report. Because I know I can't remember which city, but Green Arrow's got his city to take care of. Flash is his. Batman has Gotham, and Superman has Metropolis. So they're protecting their areas,
right.
and also the entire world.
Well,
at the
and then
same
you
time.
have and I liked how they did this because they put John the Martian Manhunter. They put him in the Watchtower.
Mhm.
He's kind of like the dispatcher.
Yep.
And so you've got in the original Justice League series, you got the main cast, which is Batman, Hawkgirl, Superman, the Flash, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, and John the Martian Manhunter.
Mhm.
I said the Flash, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so those are it. And you've got it gets to a point where they Batman launches this thing into space. It's called the Watchtower,
Mhm.
and John the Martian Manhunter, he'll be in the Watchtower for a little bit. He'll go on missions sometimes, and but he lives there. That's where he lives.
Mhm.
That's where he's because he doesn't really sleep or anything. That's where he monitors
Right.
everything. and they even did one episode where Superman took John home for Christmas,
Hmm.
and that was cool. Because his Clark Kent's parents are used to having technically an alien in their house,
Hmm.
so they welcomed John in with open arms and all that stuff. And but anyway, it was a cool concept because then he could call whoever was available.
Right.
Say Joker was doing something in Gotham, Batman would be taking care of that.
Hmm.
Well, say something bigger was going on in, we'll say the U.S. or whatever, or Metropolis. The Superman would call for help. And then you get into Justice League Unlimited, and that's when you start seeing Shazam
Hmm.
or Captain Marvel, and you've got the Green Arrow. You've got you've got all these different superheroes. You've even got Supergirl.
Yeah.
Who's in that particular spinoff is she's his niece or something like that.
Hmm.
So, or his cousin. So it's one of those things where there's a lot of really good villains, and there's a lot to really pick from. And they even actually kind of have like a Doctor Strange in their own kind of way. I'm trying to remember what his name was.
I know Batman has Dr. Hugo Strange. I'm sure you've probably covered this on this show, but they are making a Justice League movie apparently released.
They are,
in,
and
November
we've
2017, so that'll be interesting to see how that pans out.
well, and I've looked at the cast, and the characters aren't right, and
Yeah.
it's just it's one of those things that I don't know.
I don't think I can see the was it Jason Momoa, Aquaman. I believe he was in Game of Thrones, and I can never see him from his other character he played in that show.
Um, yeah. So, but the new Justice League, I'm just so mad with the cast and the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Fate is what it is.
Doctor Fate. Okay.
His name's Doctor Fate. And Doctor Doctor Fate, also known as Fate, is a fictional character appearing in American comic books.
Mm-hmm.
He is appeared in various incarnations. Doctor Fate is being named several different individuals in the DC universe.
Yeah.
He's somewhat of like a sorcerer.
Okay.
So, but it was really cool because you know how there's like that one symbol where it's a cross and it's got like the loop on the top.
Mm-hmm.
That was like his symbol in this show.
Gotcha. Okay.
And what it would do is anytime he would like disappear, that would appear right in his place.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really cool, and to me it was kind of like a Doctor Strange type of character.
Right. Right.
But in his own way.
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of more of a magician rather than just bending everything.
Gotcha.
But I mean, they had cool spin-offs on everything. So that's kind of why I like the Justice League the way it is. So they need to go back and kind of I think they need to rethink the Justice League and go, okay, well, because I know as well as or I know I liked the fact in the Batman, the Lego Batman movie, they had
Yep.
the Martian Manhunter, and they swapped out Green Lanterns,
Mm-hmm.
because they had the other one that we were talking about. Now that I'm trying to remember him, I couldn't. You know who I'm talking about, the one that Ryan Reynolds played?
Oh goodness. Shoot.
Man, we're bad at this, guys. Anyway, they swapped out Green Lanterns, but they had that version of Justice League. I even think they had Hawkgirl in there somewhere.
I believe so. Yes. It's been a while.
So they figured out.
Forgive me, I don't remember off the top of my head.
Well, but the people doing the Lego series figured out that
Yeah.
everybody likes that version of the Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why not bring that one to the big screen?
Yeah.
I mean, right now you've got one Aquaman is not part of the Justice League. He wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, and I liked what they did to him. Don't get me wrong; they made him look really cool,
Mm-hmm.
and they made him have a lot of powers. But in the animated series, they made him in charge of Atlantis. He
Yeah.
was the king of Atlantis,
Yep.
which was really cool. he would help out with the Justice League every once in a while,
Mhm.
which was sweet. But he was never part of the Justice League.
Right.
Because to me, he's not